I take it that you do not agree with this tactic,
There's
just
no
generally.
order in the society.
What are you talking about? There's literally only order. Everyone is a Radishian.
Look at this mess.
This isn't a pie. This is just a blue button. Welcome to a slight delay in our new series of How Does It Work? Where I bring in a bunch of different Stellaris devs so that they can teach me how the heck to play Stellaris again. This week, Marcus is here. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. I mean, still relaxed from the weekend, so.
Very nice. What do you do at Stellaris?
I'm a junior game designer on Stellaris. But before that, for the last 5 years, I think, I've been a QA on Stellaris as well.
Mm-hmm.
Some people might remember me from it was the first Dev Clash, I think?
Probably, yes.
With the nice and xenophile Church of Chains.
Last time, we found a planet, which is actually better than the one we started on. We had the True Path storyline pop up, and we got almost beat up by the True Path fleet, but we survived, which means that we currently only have one Corvette, but also that our shipyard is currently busy building a colony ship because we want that first. So now, one of the things I've learned recently is that apparently you use this resource alloy to build stuff that's in space. And we need that for our Corvettes, right? And they cost like 100 because these are the only ships we can build at this point. Now, based on just timeline, is this something I should worry about if I'm making 13 a month?
To be honest, if you ask anyone on YouTube, they will tell you no.
Mm-hmm.
But since we just met cultists, it might be a good idea. Because they have this really annoying tendency of, hey, there's my only choke point to get out and explore more. Let's spawn exactly there and block you off forever.
No, I have a sneaking suspicion that they're like down here somewhere. So or possibly, well, that's not a problem. So we have some ways out, so we could just ignore this area if we wanted to.
I like that. That's good problem solving. Ignore it.
Hooray! Gold route. Decided to get more levels.
I was hoping for arrested development.
That's rude.
It is the best trade in the game.
Oh, I can't build a mining
Yes.
Wait.
You need to.
Oh, right. They haven't. Do you have to wait? They have to go through the whole thing, don't they?
You have to take the system first with a starbase, right?
Oh yeah, that's the thing I have to do.
So everything needs to be surveyed. Then you build the.
See, I don't. This is definitely one of those cases where, like, if I'd been playing this alone, like, I know that's a thing. I have played with starbases before. I'm just like, but I don't. Why not clicky work? And then you're like, yeah, that's the obvious thing. So that's what we want to do, but we can't do that yet. What do you want to call it?
I mean, what did you call your home world?
It's the home system is called UV light, I think. No, it's So the system, the planet is the garden. The system is UV light.
Then I guess the next thing is the shrubbery.
But I have to spell that.
The bush.
No, stop. Oh, it's because I'm picking the wrong things. Sorry, everyone.
Wait, what construction ships can colonize?
Yeah, I mean...
You should make a bug report for that. We can fix that.
I can spell the hedge.
That's the moment where I deeply regret that there's not a second planet there that we can name the font.
Yes. I mean, we'll see what we have over here. Maybe we get something exciting, because there should be some more stuff, right? Oh, our science ship is done. Okay, go survey that system, please. Reminder, our shipyard is actually not busy again, so 2 Corvettes straight away.
Yeah, I think so. So at least get the free back. I think we can take 1 fleet of.
Yeah. Like also, we didn't have a general in our fleet, so we should probably assign a leader to this one ship, just for the heck of it.
The first one has the perfect name for shooty.
It does, but
So shooty, Jesus Christ.
Isn't evasion good, or is it not good anymore?
I mean, it's good, and so is speed. Just not sure at that level it matters much, but any bonus is better than...
I mean, in that case, we can just go for the cheap one.
That has never been a problem here. Let's go for cheap.
Also. There we go.
The junior admiral.
Yes. Shooty, here we go. Our colony ship has gently touched down at the mouth of a large river delta on one of several continents that can be found on the hedge. This temperate forested region will serve as an ideal first landing site. The ship has been permanently converted into the administrative headquarters of the new settlement, and its reactor core is in the process of being removed so that it may serve as the colony's temporary power source.
Surveyed.
Oh, I should actually pause. Hundreds of small tents and prefab shelters have sprung up around the former starship's massive hull as colonists begin to disembark in large number. It's the first Radician city on an alien world. Okay, so we can't do anything yet, right? Because we have to fill up this bar as well, but we're on the planet.
And when we do, we get an extra pop.
Hooray.
And that would happen even if you pick the tradition now, so...
Yeah, okay. So, okay. You are, at this point,
It's done.
you're done. We are going to survey this system. And hello, construction ship. Would you like to build a starbase outpost?
Claim it in the name of how does this work.
Yeah. This is ours now. Well, it'll be ours soon-ish. Ooh, actually, hang on. What do we have? Oh, this is not that big, but it's inhabitable.
Yeah, that's still decently sized. Right, could be worse.
What is a bad size? Like, at this point? I mean, this is green, right? And so it's usually... My understanding is that generally, like, if it's green and you have the resources, just put some people on it.
Pretty much, yeah.
But are there some sizes where you go like, no, this is just too small? I mean, not in the early game is kind of what I'm getting.
Not really. And everything gives you pop growth to some degree, and you can... Pops will shuffle around at some point. So the more pop growth, the better, usually.
Okay. So, what do you think? Because we're... Alright, we did... should we get ourselves another science ship then? So we're up to 4?
Yeah, that sounds good.
And then we can... What do you think next? Another colony ship, or...
Yeah, colony sounds good. Like I said, the more we get the people ball rolling, so we can turn more food into alloys.
Okay, so we can do remove boring tile blockers, or we can unlock the off-world trading company. And
I mean, you mentioned it in a way that was a little bit boring. We can either destroy the oceans or burn down the forests.
that's fair. This is what we look like. We don't want to destroy forests just generally, but sure.
Are you sure we look like the villains in a Stargate episode, to be honest?
I want to watch Stargate now. But yeah, so, Tal, do you think now old school me would be like, because when we had the tile system, right, you found a really cool planet and you're like, it's full of freaking ocean tile blockers. At which point, this would be pretty huge, right? And you like, I want this. At this point, should I be looking at, okay, so what stuff can I remove? I don't think there's anything here, right?
That's the home world.
Yeah.
You can always plug the clean those.
So here we have 2. Well,
toxic kelp.
Is that different or is that the same?
Rather look at it, cause.
Oh yeah, no, this is toxic kelp. Yeah,
we can
so
clean that one.
yeah, so should we go for tile blockers here then?
Yeah,
is that
let's
what we're
go
saying?
for the toxic.
Because this is I realize I'm asking some kind of like obvious questions, but I'm trying to be like
to be
real
fair,
obvious about it.
Looking what you have and what you can clear up is the smart choice.
Yeah.
I'm gonna admit that I don't often do the smart choice. Just immediately go, tile blockers are boring. Go for something else.
I mean, tile blockers are boring. The scenario is we have a worker unemployed. I feel like that's probably not good because they're gonna get unhappy after a while. So how do we deal with that?
We must create a job, right? Which we can either do with a district, which are
these ones.
Yes, the colorful boxes. Basically, anything that creates a resource is usually a district.
Yeah.
Or we can do it with a building down with the plus button, which is just they can also do like research, Unity, etc.
Mm-hmm.
There are some exceptions
Yeah.
to specific planet types, but meh. Most
So, should we just get ourselves some more? Let's see. This turns food into. This would give us more alloys, right?
yes. Well, alloys and consumer goods.
Yes.
Which we already have quite a bit, to be honest.
Okay. So what are you? So how are you like? Are we looking mainly at the plus here that we're producing when you
Yes.
say that we have a lot? And I'm
Mhm.
assuming. My general thinking here, right, from old school from old Stellaris
Mhm.
is that you want a lot of this because energy credits, like it's upkeep, it's paying stuff
Mhm.
off in bulk. You want a decent amount of minerals because you build everything
Yeah.
with minerals. Food, as long as you have food, you're generally good. So you don't need a massive surplus of this produced each
Yes.
month. These I have generally no idea about, except I want more influence so I can build more star bases.
Yes.
Is that like how do you look at these resources?
Consumer goods, we just want to have enough to cover our needs.
Yeah.
A surplus we would only want if we're also building at the same time buildings that use them up. Right, we know we're going to use them immediately, like research labs, Unity producing buildings. Alloys is trickier. The more is better.
You always need alloys, essentially.
You always need alloys, but sometimes you might need other things a bit more, right?
Uh-huh.
Maybe some more research over ships. At the beginning, I'd say alloys is the best just for expanding.
Mm-hmm.
But we already have plus 14 consumer goods. Yeah, maybe we should go for one more building of the industrial district.
So that would be, we just click that because we have
Yes.
2 spots left, so we can just build it.
Yep.
And that should, once it's built, that should put, hopefully, this worker in.
Yeah, it will definitely,
Yeah.
and it will give us one more open job for the next
Yeah.
one.
Right, because this gives us two slots here. One of these types and one of these types.
Yeah.
So, with that said, we solved it, we figured it out. Hooray. What can I tell from this screen?
You can tell how quickly your pops are growing or being assembled in the middle there.
Oh,
To the right. Yeah.
all right. So this one's growing and also moving to our other planet.
Yes, exactly. That one's being assembled, so I guess we have some gene lab or something. Oh no, budding probably. Of the
Yes.
budding tree,
Yeah.
And that one would be if someone doesn't do too well currently and is dying horribly.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and we're pop approval, so they generally like us. And then,
Jesus Christ, that's a lot of approval.
yeah, I mean, we run a tight ship here in the garden. What are the difference between these 3 types here?
Right, those are the 3 strata we have for the jobs,
Mm-hmm.
which is basically each job just belongs to one of the strata. It's in the script decided which job belongs to where. For the most part, in most temples, it decides the political weight of the pop,
Okay.
and that's all how much the happiness counts, basically. In very egalitarian empires, which we might be,
Yeah. We're an egalitarian idyll.
then they're going to be pretty much equal in their political weight, so it doesn't matter. And we can also lock jobs or favor
I
jobs.
think we're egalitarian. We might not actually be egalitarian.
I mean,
Someone over here where Twitch chat is going to remind us if we're egalitarian.
do we have
or not.
democratic in the name?
We could look this up. I'm sure we could look this up if we wanted to. We're a moral democracy. We are.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. Like
Fanatic even.
I'm like, why? Hang on. Why do I have to ask Twitch chat about this? Surely I can just click somewhere and it'll tell me. And yes, it will. It will tell me. Now back to this.
I just like the idea of we're fanatic egalitarian. Anyone know if we're egalitarian or not in any
Yeah.
way or form?
It's Monday and I've had a cinnamon bun. I'm crazy. Right. So because of that, most of these are equally
Yes.
in weight. Meaning, if we were like the opposite, if we were running some type of dictatorship, these people up here would essentially be the only ones that mattered.
Well, they would matter more, yes.
Yeah.
Like you would have to go like hard into slavery, etc., for them to
Yep.
for the others to matter
Oh,
very little.
So right now, right, we can see that we have one worker here that's unemployed. Is that because it's the lowest strata, or can you find 0 here and have 1 here?
You can, but only for time.
Okay.
Because basically, the way we did it is that a pop of a higher strata refuses to take a lower job until they're very desperate, which is just a certain time period they have to wait.
Okay.
Like there are some bonuses here and there that can reduce
Yeah.
it. But a former oil baron doesn't just suddenly work at a gas station at midnight, at least not the first 6 months.
Right, and here we have a bunch of other things that we might not need to look into.
Oh, Jesus, we allowed them to be everything, eh?
Sure. We're fanatic egalitarian. I take it that you do not agree with this tactic,
There's
just
no
generally.
order in this society.
What are you talking about? There's literally only order. Everyone is a radician.
Look at this mess.
This isn't a pie. This is just a blue button. Should we have a leader for these dudes? Does this matter at all? Because I never found home armies to be like, fine, just be there. No one, you kind of know when people are going to attack you anyways, so you don't really build up armies at this point. Also, everyone's equal, and we don't want to fight anyone, so why would we?
Should it be nice or should it be honest about ground combat?
You should be. I think you should be honest.
Doesn't really matter, does it?
We just colonized this place. Right now, we have essentially nothing except for the reassembled ship shelter. That's not ship shelter. And we have. Let's see. What do we have?
2 pops.
We have 2 pops, and they're both in the. They're both in here, I'm guessing.
Yeah, on the colonist job.
So, what's the best strategy to get these guys to get more pops quickly? Because
that depends on what we have available. Let's
Okay.
look what kind of buildings we can build. What we're looking for would be something like roboticists who build robots for us, or a gene lab, which improves pop growth,
Okay.
and clone labs, which actually make organic pops. In our case, we already get some assembly from budding. The new way pop growth works, we will have to wait a month for the growth to actually appear.
Okay.
It's basically that it's based also on how much living space there is on a planet.
Yeah.
Which is basically all the empty districts give you a little bit, and built districts with housing also give you a lot more.
Okay, so I guess if we were to min-max this, does that mean we want to build the districts that provide the most housing then?
Technically, yeah, that would be housing districts, but they give you clerks, which aren't the best job.
Yeah. Okay, so basically what you're saying at this point, we don't have anything extra. We just have to let this sit for a bit.
Yeah. Like I said, we could pre-build some city districts, but it just costs us energy and doesn't bring us that much that early.
So the other thing, this is trade value, which is not I mean, I guess it's a resource, but it's not one of those. It's not the same as this type of rare crystal, right? So, do I care about this?
Yes, we do care. Now, technically, you're right. It's not a resource. It's a modifier, because things are tricky to implement in this game.
Sure.
So we want to collect it with a starbase, and depending on our policy, we can turn it into different things. If we look at our policies...
So, each earned trade value earns us, essentially, it's 1 trade to 1 energy here.
1 trade for 1 energy, yes.
Yeah. I'm guessing we can research other trade policies.
Yes, and also I think it's under traditions now. We just changed a lot of things.
Okay.
Where it is.
Oh, yeah. When Stellaris changes things, it's not confusing at all.
No, and also with different teams, it gets very confusing who just changed what where.
So, do you think it's important enough that this is the next system we we take over, essentially?
No, I'm not so sure about that. Let's first look at what we have to the north of that other planet, unless we have already surveyed that. Yeah, let's look how that one turns out first.
Okay.
Like, to trade isn't really that much.
Also, here's the thing I should have done ages ago, and
We need someone in charge of that.
Oh yeah, right. We have 2 science ships without anyone on them. News of alien ship humming through the ether has reached the garden in how many ways, ending the first chapter of the book of that. How does this work? Bid for the bid for a stellar empire. Oh shit. We made first contact with mysterious hang on. In the Ebucrus system. For now, we've codenamed them beta aliens until we find out more about them. Where's that? Okay, first contact. We'll leave that be for now. Oh shit.
Oh, that's nice. We found an enclave.
Yeah, that's exactly. So I was like, oh, they actually it knows.
Yeah, we have to get to know them first.
Click here to handle this contact. This I've never done. Okay, how do we do this bit?
So for first contact, we need to send an envoy to them. So yeah, we'll just pick.
Are these? Who are these? Are these leaders from our?
Sorta, yeah. Their envoys are their own kind of leader.
Okay, so they're not. I'm not taking anyone from
No.
one of my science ship or anything like that.
If they are working on something, they will tell you there if they are.
Okay. And these don't. It's just that I have to as resources. They don't have any specific stats. That
No, they don't.
so green route. You go.
They are a bit special as leaders because they also like we have a limit of how many you can have, and if one of them dies of old age,
Yeah.
you automatically get a new one. So
Okay.
we just print them like money.
So now we just let this sit. I'm assuming.
Exactly, and it's a bit like the archaeology system. Maybe exactly
Let's
like
see
that.
where. And I find it by clicking that thing again. I'm assuming. I'm gonna. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna send you home to heal up, because then you're gonna go fight some more of them. Cool. We have a construction ship. I guess we should actually get ourselves some more resources, maybe, or should we just grab this?
Oh yeah.
Let's just grab this starbase, I guess, for now.
The garden must grow.
Yes, exactly. We must go. We must traverse past the hedge into a park or a pond or say maybe some marsh. Let's see. What do we have here? Leave it be for now.
Maybe we should rename the fleet to the lawnmower.
Here's another thing. I guess I'm not sure I understand completely yet. These squares here, are they always the same when you don't know?
No.
Or
Basically, any of the natural resources, so electricity, minerals, and food, they depend on the planet's deposits.
okay.
So the number of districts is given by if you go to features, actually, I think you can see it. The hot springs, for example.
Yeah.
Yeah, they give you max generator districts.
Mm-hmm.
So all of the mining and electricity and food districts come from those. City and industrial districts, we can build as many as we have planet size,
Okay.
minus what we've already built.
Oh right. So these are just like we can because we're gonna build over these things, and these ones are dependent on how many of these different features the planet. Oh, penny drop moment. No, but it's one of those where you're like, oh yeah, that actually makes sense, but
That's the point where we had in trouble explaining it, when it's like, isn't this obvious? For you, who's worked on this since the first iteration. Not for anyone else.
Unfortunately, we are out of time, and yes, I know that this tends to happen, which is excellent because it means I have so many more things to work through. And next week, thank you so much for taking the time and tirelessly explaining obvious things to me.